right, hello everybody. Welcome back to the Cup Chasers podcast. Thanks for being here. Thanks for listening. Championship Sunday in the books. The season has come to a close. I am a little sad, but if I have certainly enjoyed it this season, and if you've enjoyed it as much as I have, go ahead and smash up the likes, subscribe to the channel, and get the notification bell on. We got plenty more coming for you over the summer. Yeah. Well, speaking of Johnny Stones, I don't think he played in the Brentford Man City game. There were a number of children that got into this one. I actually had to ask Lewis who number 62 was.
Yeah, I was wondering who was 62.
Yeah. Did you watch this one? Did you even watch this one, Lewis? The City game?
I did. The funny thing is I watched it, but because I went to the watch it with some supporters, and I got there like with 30 minutes past in the first half. But I mean, they.
That's not the proper reaction.
But it's funny because I look at it, and I mean, there were chances to win the game, but I mean, the goal. I mean, if we're being honest, and I think we've talked about this, and I think every sports fan or athlete has talked about this. If you're gonna lose one, you lose one before the final. Yeah. I mean, if you got to choose, you lose one before, because they had what I think was 28 games unbeaten. Get that out of the way, man. Like, nobody wants to talk about that.
I see what you're saying.
Nobody wants to talk about those things. Can they go 30? No one cares about that. We just want to win the one game in front of
trophies. Not for nothing, but the Bees did the double over the champions this season. Only team.
Well, and it's interesting because the first game they played, they came at them and they deserved that one. This one,
well, that one was right after Tony got snubbed for the England squad for the World Cup.
Yeah,
he was the man.
He was pissed,
upset,
and he played like that too. And I mean, take nothing from them. You know, they won. Pep didn't look too terribly bothered by it. They looked like they needed that run out just to kind of make somebody run at them. They possessed well. Everybody was auditioning to play. I expect is the game Saturday or Sunday? I can't remember. Whenever they play that big cup.
I think it's Saturday.
Whenever they play it, my expectation is you will see the Champions League squad, which would be whatever they had out there, the one that literally won the 4 games that they've run. Grealish will be back. Haaland was there just to get his Golden Boot trophy. He didn't care.
Yeah.
Royner wasn't even at the game. And
he didn't even dress. Yeah.
He didn't even travel. They didn't go. He just like, And the funny thing is they have to go back to London. So it was just like,
yeah.
You know, credit to Brentford. They did the double. And they had a really good season this year. They had some guys that look hungry. And I wish them the best. I mean, obviously the relegation conversation will come at another time for other teams, but I think they showed why they're in the league and, you know, why they were pushing for Europe. I mean,
that's 3 straight seasons now.
They
survived 3 years.
Yeah, and I mean,
they were good in them too.
This close to Europe, which means they'll push. They'll push for next year.
I didn't realize that, but when NBC was going over it at the beginning of all the matches, if Villa would have lost and Tottenham would have lost, Brentford would have been in Conference League. So yeah, good for them. Hell of a season.
Credit to them. And good. It was a good team. I am satisfied with the league season. So I mean, what can I complain about? You know, did I want them to win? Yeah, I watched the game, so clearly I wanted them to win. But if I'm gonna watch a loss, that I prefer it be this one.
Yeah, absolutely. I get that. Yeah, not much else. I thought Phil Foden was decent. He definitely came in and gave the cameo, and I'm gonna keep saying it, even though you'll probably keep denying it. But has Mahrez played himself into a start in either final?
No. I think he looked bad in the game. The game whenever it was. I don't know what today is, but
It was
I
Sunday.
I-
It was all Sunday. Everything was Sunday.
Sunday. Yeah, so it was yesterday. Like yeah. It was
Yeah.
yesterday. So but I mean he's a good player. He's clearly a good player. But I mean even the commentators said just looking at the quality against them, the argument for City is that they have two teams. They don't. And I've been on that soapbox for a while. There's not 22 guys. There's 15, and that's the 15. Because I mean,
We had
Palmer.
three teams and we still didn't win a game, so that's not an excuse.
Because Palmer's still young. Mahrez, while good, he and it's a personal thing. I swear he never either he doesn't like to pass to Kyle Walker on overlaps or he just doesn't care. Because there were several times where Kyle Walker did overlaps, and he doesn't get mad when he doesn't get them because he's used to them because he normally plays on the same side. But there were several times in the game, and I was watching it just for body language, where Mahrez was complaining about not getting the ball, and when he got it, he didn't do anything with it. And I'm just like, I don't get it. He's a great player, zero question. He's a great player, but is he Bernardo Silva? No. And you would have 6 weeks ago, you never would have got me to say this. Is he Jack Grealish? No. 6 weeks ago, you couldn't have got me to say this at all. But there's something to it. It's just something to it, I've never seen Grealish like sort of pout on the field. I've never seen that.
I don't know, man. That's like half of his game is falling down
No,
and pouting.
I'm talking about at his teammates, like not getting the ball and stuff like that. I mean, he's always on the ground. That's that part I'm not talking about. I'm talking about at his teammates. Because if you went back and watched any of the City game, Mahrez was like this half the game. Like
Pulling an old Bruno, huh?
Like, come on, man. Come on, man. But he's a great player. Take nothing from him. He's a great player. But I understand why Pep is if Silva's playing well, he's slow to put Mahrez in to replace him. There's a reason.
Would you say he's fourth or fifth in the order as far as your front line? Because Alvarez is clearly the first guy in.
Yes, he is. It's Alvarez and then Foden and
he's farther back. You would put Foden in before Mahrez.
Well, I mean, if up front I have Haaland, Grealish, and Silva, then and De Bruyne is playing, Gundogan is playing, so that means that Alvarez is first because he's the clear match where he can play 10, he can play 9, and he can play on a wing. And he probably can play both wings, but on a wing. Then Foden would be next because Foden can play central and he can play on a wing. So, I mean, if I'm looking to put somebody who can fill multiple spots, then why would I put Mahrez on first? Because Mahrez only plays on the one wing. He plays the left wing, and that's it.
Not a huge fan of defense either.
And I'm just, and if you look at Phil Foden's work rate, always tracking back. When he makes mistakes, he's apologizing. He's going hard. He crosses the ball. He doesn't necessarily care about getting the goal. He just wants the team to score. And again, this is no, sort of slagging off in the British term of Mahrez. I think he's a phenomenal player. On his day, unstoppable. Absolutely unstoppable. But if he doesn't start that way, then you just kind of get, hey, pass me the ball, and then the same cut in, and I'm going to use speed. But if you get a good defender, you ain't beating anybody like that. So, yes, because I mean, who else is there since City has 3 teams? Because I don't – he would be the third person I'd put in. Yeah. As I look, that's it. There's nobody else.
Sure. Any other thoughts on the Bees, on this game in particular?
I like them, man. I think they're especially at home, man. They're and I don't even know what this word means, but they're a spunky team. I've heard it before.
They got spunk.
They're spunky. I don't know what that means, but it feels like the right word. I just like them. I think, all around there's effort. I think they'll be in the Prem for a while, even though when we discuss the relegation, somebody said something that the big thing is that there's like 7 years ago, Leicester were the champions. Well, 1, they weren't supposed to be, but they did. Congratulations to them. And 2, the year after they won, they sold everyone. Why do you think 7 years ago was yesterday? Like 7 years is a long time. and especially in pro sports. I mean, if a
It's
player
only Vardy that's left.
Yeah, Jamie Vardy's supposed to carry them. Don't you know that?
He's all that's left.
and if you think about that, you think 7 years is literally a full career. That's going through your whole prime. I mean, Phil Foden has been
Just
in
ask Klopp.
right. Phil Foden has been in City's team for 5 seasons,
Wow.
and he's won 5 leagues. 6 years, sorry, 6 seasons. Think about that's his whole career. If he stopped right now,
he'd have
then,
he'd have more than most, even if he just quit right now. More accolades and than most too.
And if we go backwards 7 years backwards, think about who was the sort of torchbearers for the league. Nobody was talking about Manchester City. Manchester City had I think they maybe won the set 2 titles at that point, like modern titles. We're not talking about the 1900s.
12 was the
first one.
Was 93-20. Yeah,
that was the first one. So I mean, and so you look at that and you're like 7 years, and there. I mean, we can't think about it in the terms of like Everton, who've never, if I'm not mistaken, have never been relegated. Nope. So but again, the bees are really spunky. Mm-hmm. I like the spunk in them, maybe because they're bees.
Yeah, there you go.
I think that's just Thomas Frank. I mean, as their manager, but it's going to be interesting to see if they can maintain without somebody like Tony consistently being out there. I can understand in this run in, like, we're chasing after something, having that adrenaline to try to catch up to something. But once you get back into the season and the dragging on of the season, do you have it having Tony going forward?
Well, they'll be in America. So if we choose to, we can get to watch them, right? Oh, hold on. I don't know what that did. My bad.
Nice. That was nice. Yeah. We love you too, Lewis.
Yeah. I don't even know what that was. It was flashing. So like, what is it
meant
doing?
To be.
But
just showing your heart for the team, for the pod.
For the bees.
For the bees.
For the bees. Nice. Yeah.
But and they'll be in the States, so clearly the Premier League feels like they're one of the teams that will be around for a while. So they'll be doing the North American tour. I think it's 4 cities, 7 cities, something like that.
Yeah.
And so I think that'll be cool for them, and they'll pick up some fans.
Yeah. Sounds good. I definitely agree. I think they'll be around for a long time.